It's not just about reading romance, it's about feeling the romance. That fluttery, can't stop smiling, butterflies in your stomach, kicking your feet, giggling kind of magical book. Today I'm sharing some books that gave me major butterflies while reading them. Whether it was the romance itself, the tension, the way a moment unfolded perfectly, these stories just really swept me off my feet. The first book we're going to talk about is Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. This was a Patreon book club pick a few months ago, and I thought it was super sweet. There were aspects to the book that I couldn't relate to, but there were moments like their silly bickering or the realistic arguments that they were trying to work through in this whole book. Sarah and Caleb are high school sweethearts. They've been together for many, many years, but Sarah feels like she's in a rut. She feels like she's lacking personal growth, but Caleb is so content with their life and he doesn't feel like it needs change. So they go on this camping trip, couples camping trip, with a big group of other couples trying to work out any arguments or any issues going on in nature. It felt very authentic. It felt like an argument that is probably very realistic for long-term relationships. And I personally could relate to the knowing someone since high school and growing together. Caleb and Sarah definitely have stopped growing together, and that's affecting Sarah's mental health. And there is a small amount of spice that I thought was done so well. There's a lot of tension build up in the woods. There's a lot of tension going on, there's a lot of flirting, but there's also realistic arguments that they're trying to work through. But even the discussions that they're having when they aren't seeing eye to eye, their love and effort to understand each other, it really is undeniable. This book also provides some flashback chapters, which were really heartwarming to kind of see them grow up together. But you also see where the trouble stems from and where it started and where things might have messed up. Overall, I really loved this for that emotional, heartfelt romance book and a really good take on long-term relationships. I feel like a majority of romance books are the start of a relationship. You are dropped right into the middle of kind of a conflicting time within this long-term relationship, but watching them grow up together in those flashback chapters were really eye-opening and allowed for great discussions that you witness in this book. The next book really isn't a heavy hitter like Out of the Woods was, but Rewind It Back by Liz Tom Ford. I did a full book review video on this, and I've talked about it many times on my channel so far, but I have to recommend a Liz Tom Ford book in this video. Hallie and Rio, our two main characters, grew up next door to each other. First crushes, first love, first heartbreak, and now Hallie moves to Chicago for a dream interior design internship, only to find out that she's living next door to Rio. They haven't spoken in years, but there is this forced proximity element where they are neighbors, and she somehow falls into this contract to redesign his house for her internship. It's second chance and a lot of nostalgia. The playlist for this book that Liz Tom Ford created is wonderful, and there are a lot of flashback chapters. Every other chapter is pretty much flashing back to when they first met, to them meeting on the roof every night to listen to music together, and much more juicy details that caused to them breaking up later on. This one specifically, I think, really got me with the butterflies because of the way Rio was obsessed with Hallie. Rio is the most golden retriever male energy you will ever have in a romance book. Because they had a bad falling out and a breakup, he tries to be mean to her when they see each other again in Chicago, but it just doesn't work because he is too sweet and too nice and too obsessed with her to even try. He literally has not stopped thinking about her in 6 years. A lot of romance books might be filled with a lot of tension. Like, you can tell from the start that there is tension field, they're really attracted to each other, but because you're getting these flashback chapters, you know they've been attracted to each other forever, and then present day they're still attracted to each other. There kind of is a lack of tension in this book because Rio and Hallie are so head over heels for each other anyway. It's kind of inevitable that they'll end up together, but it's really their inner dialogue in both of their POVs that really blew me away. Just the way that they spoke to each other or spoke about each other when they were thinking. Like, a little quote from this book that I absolutely loved. There's this nagging part of me that's questioning whether the homesickness I felt for years now has been for Boston or if it's actually been for her. Again, Rio is such a charmer, and you will fall head over heels for Hallie because of the way he speaks about her. This next one is funny, swoon-worthy, sexy, but most importantly, our main character is so dang witty and funny and self-deprecating, and it adds to the bicker and banter and relationship dynamic between these two. The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I haven't recommended this book in quite some time. West and Anna are complete opposites. West is a wealthy, generational wealth. His family owns this big grocery store chain, while Anna is kind of a starving artist. She's not doing so hot, but she just wants to be free-spirited and her own person and independent and continue on with the things that she loves. In college, they were roommates and they spontaneously got married, but over time they drifted apart. They thought a divorce went through, but it didn't. It was never finalized. Years go by and West has to go to a family event, a family wedding, and his family's like, oh my god, you should bring your wife. We haven't met her yet. We haven't seen you in years. Bring you and your wife, come on this trip. We'll have a good time. There are some unresolved feelings and sparks do reignite. Lots of sparks going on. From the beginning, Anna is so quirky and brazen, but West is in this predicament that he's taking very seriously. He's like, you need to pretend to be my wife. And she's just not taking it seriously whatsoever, but she's in for the free trip. You know when you're in a female perspective in a book and the author or authors just nail those little fine details. Anna's inner dialogue, you are honed in on West. I remember the tiny little descriptions she would put in her POV, like her heart starts racing when she's around him, their hands brush together, and it's such a big moment. Sparks. She's paying attention to the small things he's said or done. It just makes you giggle a little bit, especially in her POV when she is so quirky and so fun and witty. I loved this book. Honestly, it's due for a reread. And I do have another quote. I realize just before we touch that he's about to erase everything I know about kissing. The next one I also have not shut up about, but I don't care. I will never shut up about this book or this author. And she has a new release coming out soon. The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. Who's tired of me talking about it? I'm not. After Georgia's father passes away, she is called home to go to his funeral, and she's dreading it. She's estranged from certain family members, and there's just this unwanted tension when she's around them. When she arrives home, she mistakes her brother's AA sponsor as someone else, and it's a really funny situation. They start flirting right off the bat, and the banter is out of this world. Georgia is so quick and witty. She reads people exceptionally well because of her degree. She just knows people and their facial features and how a frown makes a person look, or how their eyes are really telling, or how their eyebrows might cork and it means something. She's so dialed in on the person she's always talking to or the people she's around. And honestly, she made this book. Georgia is this book. And honestly, the romance is a subplot, so I don't even know. This book does fit the category though, okay? The romance is sub. Sam Penny is a force to be reckoned with. There are really heavy-hitting topics in this book as well. I don't want to just make it all swoony and butterfly. A lot of trauma and family grief and addiction. So many things going on in this book that it's more than a romance, but the romance elements did make me kick my feet and smile a little bit. What gave me the butterflies and what made me swoon over it was Sam himself. He is so understanding. He is an addict and now he is an AA sponsor, and Sam is a very understanding person. So you have Georgia, who's very analytical and scientific about the way she reads people, and then you have Sam, who is just so empathetic and understanding, but when he's in this dynamic with this crazy family, he takes Georgia's side no matter what. She needs someone in her corner, and Sam Penny is that guy. And just the way they look at each other, they smile across the table from each other, they secretly are holding each other's hands. There's this secretive chemistry going on that no one's picking up on, but they together are they're working the room, and it's fantastic. Let's read another quote. Silence with him is 5:15 in the morning before the sun's up, and it's still dark, but the birds are singing. He's the heavy quilt you put over your head when it's too cold and too early to wake up. He's the song no parent ever loved me enough to sing. He's the way water runs and bubbles over stones in a stream. He's a quiet mind. Jessa Hastings and her metaphors, She goes crazy with them, let me tell you. She has some run-on sentences that I think are beautiful and add to the story. But yeah, she does a lot of metaphors, and I love them. Love them. The next one is a quick and easy one that I think everyone should read and get off their plate because it's available on Kindle Unlimited. It's a short story, and it's The Fall Risk by Abby Jimenez. Charlotte and Seth are new neighbors, but one day a construction team removes the stairs from their apartment complex, so they're stuck on the second floor together for the whole weekend. It's very unrealistic, but again, that Abby Jimenez meet cute is always a little unrealistic and a lot of fun. They decide to make the most of it. Over this long weekend, they get blankets, they get a little kiddie pool, they order food. They decide to make the hallway between their apartments a little hangout area, and they get to know each other. Charlotte is extremely cautious of men due to some scary situations that are happening in her life, but Seth is just this sweet and friendly, plant-loving guy. And for a short story, the little things that Seth does to make Charlotte feel comfortable will make you blush. Like, he is just so thoughtful, and he's always thinking of her. Even just like in this, it's a short story. There's not a lot of pages, but you feel so much, and it's only over 2 or 3 days, but they get to know each other really well. And he's very aware of her caution towards men and very, again, respectful and thoughtful of the privacy that she needs, but also very interested in her and kind of putting himself out there and trying to flirt and wiggle his way into her life. And again, in such a short story, it seems hard to develop characters, but you're watching Charlotte just slowly open up with Seth, and you're like watching a flower bloom. It was truly butterfly worthy, and so much packed into a short story. A little fun quote: "I like that you need something. It gives me something to do for you." He looked at her earnestly. "I like doing things for you." It's super stinking cute, and again, it can be a weekend read for you as well. And sticking with our girl, Abby Jimenez, I'm going to talk about Say You'll Remember Me. Xavier is a veterinarian, and Samantha works for a mustard company, the social media side of this mustard company. Again, kind of quirky and weird, just like all Abby Jimenez books. But Samantha has a cat with a butthole issue and takes him to Xavier and says, "Please fix my cat." Xavier, right off the bat, is infatuated with her, just already looking at her holding her cat with the butthole issue, obsessed with her. And he's like, "I need to take this girl on a date. We need to get to know each other and hang out." But the funny part is, Xavier is not a people person. He's a veterinarian for a reason. He doesn't like people. So right off the bat, he's attracted to this girl, and he's like, I have to do something about it. Samantha really does have a lot of charm and intrigues Xavier like no one else has. Little does Xavier know, Samantha's moving across the country the day after their first date, and their first date was incredible. The story does have a long distance element to it, which I've never really read a long distance relationship in a book before, so that was new. But I was wondering the whole book, how in the world is this relationship going to work? Because majority of the book is long distance, and you're watching them fall head over heels for each other through text or FaceTime, but you're wondering the whole time, how is this gonna work? And of course, it's a romance book. It works out eventually. It's a little unrealistic, but you gotta go with the flow with romance books. Lots of little flirty texts, the spontaneous trips, or the way that Xavier surprises her with flowers or randomly showing up on her doorstep. He goes the extra mile for Samantha. He has his close group of friends, but other than that, he's so standoffish, but he's so gushy. He's so mushy, gushy for our girl Samantha. The other element that I really loved about this book is Samantha's going through some really hard family dynamics, and Xavier steps up to the plate. He's like, how can I help? Let me do something for your family. Let me do something for you. You go relax. I'll handle this situation over here with your mom. Like, let me fit into your life somehow. And he really just does mesh. He meshes so well. It's a goofy family dynamic, but they are going through something really heavy. And Xavier, again, just that puzzle piece, he fits in so well. He's like, where can I be of help? Like, I want to help out. And those moments with him made me realize that he should be every MMC in books. And of course, a little quote. But I already knew when my life flashed before my eyes, the best parts of it were going to be about her. And the last recommendation that I have for this video was a recent read, and I'm so happy I got it off my TBR. It's been on my shelf for way too long. Let's see if you guys can guess it. It's romantic. It's full of passion. It's full of history. It's touching. It'll make you cry. I'm kind of showing you. Real by Madi Ryan. There is so much packed into this book. So much meaning and depth. These characters are beautifully written. Just proves that Madi Ryan is an author that I will stick with from now on. It's not just about finding love in a media-filled industry. There's Black history, family issues, medical issues. There's so much to this book. Like, for a romance book, it's packed. Neva, our girl, isn't just going through a really tough medical condition that's basically threatening to take her dreams away. She's also battling with so much emotional baggage from issues tied to her family. Just like I said with the book, having so many themes and different things going on, the characters, Madi Ryan really added a layer of depth to these characters that I haven't seen in many romance books before. There is quite a lot of smut in this book, a lot of sexy scenes, and to be honest, it wasn't my favorite aspect of this book. There was so much chemistry though. Cannon, our main male character, is the director of a movie that Neva's starring in. The chemistry came from their communication. Their communication and dialogue was so strong, even with Neva going through so much medically and kind of hiding aspects of that from Cannon. They eventually communicated and worked it out. There was no miscommunication trope, which I really appreciate. This book, again, because I've said this already so many times, because of how deep it is, there's so many little tiny moments that Cannon just takes over the situation when Neva is feeling uncomfortable, or when there's media involved and she's never been through something like this before. He kind of takes over, he takes control, he's there for her in more ways than one. He's there for her in her career, medical, family, like everything. Cannon is there for her. They are very reluctant to get together at first, which adds to the tension. It is a denser romance book, it's pretty thick. So the first like 50% is really just the build up to the actual relationship or starting the relationship, which always adds to me liking it. Because even with the high spice, the tension was great. It was kind of a slow build because they're very reluctant to get together. He's her boss. There's kind of this HR dynamic that they don't want to cross. It's a recent read, so I can't stop thinking about it. Another quote. Sometimes attraction is the body's way of keeping a secret from your heart until you're ready to hear it. Maybe my heart recognized who Neva was to me immediately. My light, the part that would fit me like we were crafted for one another, but disguised it as admiration, lust, desire, and need. Emotions I could accept, giving me time to fall in love. Cannon, everyone. That is it for this swoon-worthy romance book recommendation video. I hope that you can take at least one recommendation from this video and add it to your TBR. If you've read these, or if you're going to read them, you plan to read them, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to support my channel, please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.